welcome to the Addiction of Religion with me, the recoverist, KD Foy, and also the author of the book, The Addiction of Religion. So I welcome you to this particular episode because it's really exciting stuff for me to talk about this week or this episode, the idea of God, right? There are atheists who don't believe in God, and I can certainly see why you would reject the idea or the notion of some almighty being sitting up in the heavens looking down on us and judging us and punishing us or rewarding us or answering prayers. I can certainly understand how you could reject such an idea. As I've reached my own experience of understanding and awareness and consciousness, I've too have come to reject that idea. But and that does not make me atheist in any way. I do believe in God and the existence of this power. So let me talk about when I say God, what do I mean? And it's very easy to understand and to relate to. If you think about yourself when you go to sleep, there's a force and there's an energy that in your sleep makes sure that you breathe, make sure that your lungs continue to expand and expel oxygen and carbon dioxide. There's a force that makes sure that your liver does what it's supposed to do. It's a force that wakes you up in the morning at a specific time so that you are now conscious again. And there's a place that you go when you go to sleep that no one can define. All the studies and sleep studies they've done, they can talk about REM and what's going on as far as an activity perspective, but where that place is, they cannot define that place that we all go. Even animals, when we go to sleep, they cannot define that place. There is an energy that makes sure that the world does what it's supposed to do, that the sun rises when it's supposed to, and that it sets on time every day. There is a force that controls the oceans and the tides and makes sure that they do what they're supposed to do. There is a force that drives us into awareness, and then once that awareness or that time has quit, then we do what we call die. And that is when that force, that life force, no longer resides in our mortal bodies and it returns to somewhere. And it's that force, that energy that turns a seed when you put it in the dirt and causes it to grow and morph and create into a plant or even a tree at some point. It's that force that is God. That force is in each one of us. It is in all of us. And it is the author of all creation because it drives all creation. It drives everything that happens to us. It drives, and when I say drives, I mean it is the force. It is the energy, but it doesn't control. It doesn't control us as human beings. So we'll talk more about that in a later episode, but I wanted to kind of just really touch on how can you explain those particular things, and you cannot. There are some who believe that there are beings in other universes that sometimes visit or intertwine with our own, but even still there's a force that creates and navigates those particular places or entities if they so exist. It is the driving universal source of energy that is the creation and the motivation of everything that exists in the world. That is God, and that driving force is in every one of us, no matter our religion, no matter our background, no matter our education. It is that driving force that gives us the ability to create, that gives us the ability to be aware, that gives us the ability to intuit, the ability to experience and to have feelings and to have all of the emotions that are attached to us as human beings. It is that universal source energy, which is God. And it, if you think about it, scientists have called the experience of creation the Big Bang Theory, where out of nowhere this Big Bang happened and all of these things in the world began to exist. And to a degree, I support that theory because God is, as the ultimate intelligence and ultimate being of energy, wanted to know itself. And so, in the desire to know itself, it had to create something other than itself to be able to relate to, right? So, you don't have up if you don't have down. You don't have hot if you don't have cold. And if you're hot, cold, up, down, all in one, as that universal source energy was, it had to divide itself and create other pieces of itself in order for it to be able to know itself aside from itself. So that source energy knew everything. It has all power, all knowing, um, all abilities, all possibilities, all created into one. But in order for God to know itself experientially, it then had to create and then to make smaller pieces of itself in order to conduct Einstein's theory of relativity, right? So that when we think about God and the creation of the world and how we all got here, it is from that place of desire, of knowing itself, that God created pieces of itself and divided himself. And then in the Big Bang, the idea of all this big explosion and all of these particles, flying into the universe and then later creating and evolving into all these things. And that could very well be how it happened. But from a perspective of Godness, that is where God had the opportunity to create human beings, animals, plants, trees, planets, moons, stars, all of these things in its desire to create and to know itself. So when you look at yourself, you are God, because you are God living as you in this world to experience the world as you. So thank you for listening. We'll get deeper into some of these subjects on the coming episodes, but stay tuned because you don't want to miss it.